What is up, NFC West football fans, and welcome into another edition of the NFC West Roundtable. I've waited far too long to say that, but alas, we are back. The first episode of the 2025 season is here, folks. We've made it. Training camp almost finished. A full slate of preseason games this weekend. Hard Knocks with my Buffalo Bills kicks off tonight, and we are almost to the day, a month out from kickoff. Eagles, Cowboys to start things off on Thursday Night Football. We here at the NFC West Roundtable are going to ride it all the way to September with you, and then, of course, all the way to the bowl throughout the duration of the entire season. So great to be back with you, and so good to have you in as always. And without further ado, let's reunite the fellas. Mike, Brandon, Jake, and Jesse, boys, so good to see you again. Look at all of you. You look phenomenal. I can't wait to see you in person in about 2 months. But for right now, fellas, this'll do. This'll do.
I honestly missed the what is up, that Z-bot, that bring, man. They got me goosebumps. I'm really excited that we're back, man. Football's back.
I had to get the salt water out, Mike. I had to gargle a little bit, get the vocal cords ready to go. But I think I'm back. We're back. And it's a privilege because it's weird. When you get to this point of the year, it feels like the last time we were on around the draft period, it feels like it was forever ago, but it wasn't at the same time. It's a weird paradox there, but we're nearly back to real ball. And Mike, from what I've heard, there's going to be some real football being played by your Arizona Cardinals this upcoming weekend. Here in the starters are going to get some action, so we'll talk about that throughout the show. But let's kick things off tonight talking about the breaking news coming out of the NFC West. A little bit of a running back market being set, or at least the bottom of the top 10-ish tier of the running back market. The running back market right now, make it make sense. You have 3 Hall of Famers making 15 plus million, and the rest is up for your interpretation. We'll see what happens with James Cook. But Kyren Williams just made Brandon Beane's life either easier or harder. He has just been extended by the LA Rams, a 3-year, $33 million deal with $23 million guaranteed. Jake, I'll start with you here because I know you were under the impression the Rams were going to get this done. I'm not sure the entire Rams fan base was. So starting with you, do you like the deal? You thought it was going to get done. Did you want it to get done? And based on how it got done, satisfactory on your end?
Yeah, I really felt like this was going to get done. This is the same organization that paid Todd Gurley, and everyone since has been like, Sean McVay will never pay a running back again. I didn't feel that about Kyren Williams. And the big thing here is that you have to keep in mind, this is somebody that does everything they're looking for. You know, not only, on the field, but off it. He's a leader. And this is a big guy, as far as how they want to build their roster. They always talk about, what do we want a Ram to look like? It's like Kyren Williams, a guy who, as Sean McVay put it, and he said, I can't wait to work even harder. Sean McVay said, I don't know if that's even possible. So, really what you're looking is somebody that is just a really good fit for what they're trying to do on the offensive side of the football. And somebody who's a great, fit in the locker room, and just, a guy that really kind of, he's exactly what they're looking for when it comes to Rams. So totally agree with the decision to sign him to this extension. He's 24 years old. This is somebody that I think, in only 2 years of starting, he's third in rushing yards the last 2 years in the NFL. And he's tied for first in most touchdowns in that span. This is one of the better running backs in the league who gets kind of slept on. And I'll just say this, I understand I'm seeing it all over covering baseball. Analytics are starting to be the name of the game. And, he's near the bottom of the league in terms of explosive rating and expected yards. And I'll just say this. I think analytics are a nice tool. I say this all the time with baseball, but I think that, we use them so often. I think it can just, actually distort the image of what actually is. And, the reality is Kyren Williams, his numbers show it, is a top 10 running back in this league. And I'm excited that they got the deal done.
Top 10 running back gets paid as such. He's now the 7th highest paid running back in the league. And it might sound like a lot, but like I mentioned earlier, you have 3 guys in CMC, Saquon, and Derrick Henry at the top. There's only 8 guys making above or $10 million or above. So it's not like the market is crazy high, but maybe we start to get there over time here. We'll see. We obviously have Kyron Williams signed today. James Cook's up next. And then we have some of these younger guys coming along. So we'll see what happens with the running back market. But you said it, Jake, and I agree with you. He feels like a guy who's far better than what he's talked about. It just feels like he's underrated in terms of bringing up a top caliber running back. It's not often you hear the name Kyron Williams be brought up throughout that conversation, but the numbers show it, and he gets extended today by the Rams. 3-year, $33 million deal, $23 million guaranteed. Brandon, what I'm going to need you to do is dust off that soundboard because we got a couple of new members, and one of which is right up your alley. It's Feed Me More Seahawks becomes a member of the show. Thought we already had a member in Feed Me More, but regardless, member nonetheless tonight.
Let's go. Hot and sweaty and stanky.
You know it. People are just getting warmed up tonight.
I love it. Hot, sweaty, stinky. Not you, Feed Me More. Maybe the rest of us here on the panel. But welcome to the crew. Appreciate you joining as a member. First night back for 2025. The HHG coming in. Member for 3 months. Not new for HHG. But he's saying Jake looks like Patricia from the movie Split.
I've never seen it, so
it's a great movie. I don't remember Patricia though. I gotta go back and refresh.
No, Split. He's the guy who's got he's got all those personalities.
Oh,
yeah,
that's not bad. Then that's the what's
great
his name?
movie.
Yeah, what's that dude's name?
He was in the X-Men. He's Professor X in the X-Men.
Yes,
the new one.
Oh yeah, James McAvoy.
There,
yeah.
that's him. Yep.
That movie's wild. I remember I went and saw it in theaters. I didn't know what to expect, and then all of a sudden it took a turn that I just had no clue where we were going, and it threw me off. That movie's wild.
I always wanted to see it. I guess I'm curious. This Patricia, they have like facial hair and stuff like and
no, it's one of his personalities. Yeah,
he's got multiple
okay.
personalities.
Gotcha. Okay. See, I've never seen it before, so I was like. All right, we're starting it off like that. Okay.
So, shots fired right from the beginning.
A turtleneck. So for what it's worth, she does rock a turtleneck. So I'm not sure if that's a coincidence.
I know you're a turtleneck guy, Jake, so maybe that's why. Although I will say it only took us 7 minutes to get our first movie reference into the season. I got a feeling that'll be the first of many as we make our way through.
It's got to be winter though, guys. I mean, I'm not rocking the turtleneck during the summer. Absolutely not. You know,
not yet. You got to wait for the leaves to change a little bit before you start rocking the turtleneck.
Yeah.
We still got August.
Exactly.
Let's stick with the Rams. I know we got Kyron Williams under contract today. That's good news for Rams fans. But let's talk about the quarterback position. It's been widely talked about recently. Matt Stafford and a potential injury that people seem to not know a whole lot about. Some are saying more serious than being let on. Some are saying not a big deal. Obviously, Matt Stafford at his age and, of course, how valuable he is to the Rams, it is a concern nonetheless as of right now, just not knowing exactly what the situation entails. But, Jake, from what you've heard, what is the situation? How concerning is it? And is it something that has you worried heading into the upcoming year here?
No, actually, I've heard, really good things. This is the plan. And, I think this is all part of the maintenance process of having a 37-year-old quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo, in turn, gets to have, full reps as the starter. And then also Stetson Bennett, a guy that they're really excited about. Just the steps he's taken this offseason. I don't know if that means he'll make the 53 or not. But, now he gets a chance to have those second-team reps. So, no, this was always the plan. And they kind of alluded to this. But you know how it is. Matthew Stafford being up there in age, seeing what he went through with the Lions and everything over the years. At any time there's any sort of injury, people freak out when it comes to Stafford. He's fine. It is what it is. He is, like Schefter reported today, he'd be ready to go. Yeah, that's exactly what I was told. This is all just kind of a plan in place to maintain him, make sure you're not, overdoing it. And, if he's 27, is he having this? No. But, he's 37 and they're trying to get the most out of him. And obviously so after the investment they made.
Freddie K. Bassman coming in with a banger of a super chat saying, fellas, it's been a minute. Can't wait to meet you all at Rams versus 49ers. The feeling mutual, Freddie. We cannot wait either. We're about 2 months, I think, maybe to the day. Is it October 4th? Is that game? It might be. I don't know. I got to check my calendar. But Freddie, we can't wait. That's going to be an absolute ball. Speaking of those 49ers, let's kick it over to you, Jesse. So the Niners last year, obviously a down year, at least based on their standards, of course. It's funny, though, we're talking about the Niners going into this year, based on the schedule, all of a sudden the perception has changed. Now, CMC is going to be healthy. Brock Purdy gets paid. You lose Deebo Samuel, but you're going into this year with high expectations, seemingly out of nowhere, especially based on what happened last year with that schedule and just a public perception almost that they're going to bounce back. Is that the vibe you have right now? And based on what you've seen from camp, is it more likely that we see the former 49ers team closer to an NFC Championship Super Bowl caliber team, or is it more towards last year, somewhere in the middle? Your overall vibe as we come to the end of training camp here.
Well, before I get to the 49ers, I have to mention that when you were full screen, Z-Bot, I mean, how well does the hosting gig pay? Did you get new veneers? Those teeth look beautiful, my man. Gee, Merry Christmas.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Now you got me looking at myself like this.
your teeth always look great. I'm just joking. All right. Yeah, the 49ers, man. We got we got a great schedule for sure. In training camp, there was a lot of questions going into training camp. And I think some of those questions have certainly changed. There's been some injuries, but not the injuries you would expect. You would expect that if there were some injuries or nagging things happening, it would be the Trent Williams or the CMC or the Kittle, some of the guys that are longer in the tooth, but that's not the way that it's been. It's actually been some of the younger guys. Luckily, there's nothing that's going to be season ending or anything like that. One of the biggest questions I had about this team was the secondary. It was one of my biggest concerns. I have full trust in Deommodore Lenoir, but even he was moving from nickel corner, playing that slot role to the outside. That can be a transition for sure. He's talked a lot of trash, so every receiver in the NFC West wants them a part of Deommodore Lenoir. And then Renardo Green, who played very well last year. Can he be that player full time? Is that just a one-year thing? And then it was like, all right, well, what's up with the safety position? What's going on with the nickel position? Upton Stout, though, rookie this year, has solidified himself as the starting nickel corner right now. He looks absolutely phenomenal in camp. He is the total package. There's nothing on the field that he cannot do. His leadership is already showing through as a rookie. So one of my big concerns in the secondary is actually not that big of a concern, which is great. But all of a sudden we have a new concern, which is the wide receiver position. Obviously, Deebo has moved on to Washington. Wish him all the best. Ultimately, that was a great move by the 49ers. He seems to be a little bit of a shell of himself. Brandon Ayuk is not going to be healthy to start the season. We knew that. But now Jawan Jennings wants this new contract. He's got this calf injury. Is that real? Is he holding in? We're not quite sure. Is Jawan Jennings, I love Jawan Jennings, but is he even the caliber of player that can hold in? I'm not sure of that either. Ricky Pearsall started camp with a hamstring injury, but he's back looking phenomenal. Demarcus Robinson, we're still waiting on the suspension from him. So the wide receiver position is a bit depleted right now. We don't know exactly what to expect from it. That's something I'm going to be keeping an eye on. And then, of course, this rookie front of Williams and West and all those guys that they drafted up front. Can they be a force all season long? That's something that I'm looking forward to seeing as training camp plays out. They spent 3 of their first 4-round picks on that defensive line. They're expecting Robert Saleh to work magic with a defense that was down last year as well. So curious to see how things play out. But overall, schedule does look pretty easy. I think minimum the 49ers should be expected to win 10 games, and anything less than that would be unsatisfactory.
To get there, you have to think
quick
CMC's got to play.
Z-Bot, quick question for Jesse. Yeah. Are you at all concerned about your tight end's bath salt addiction?
You beat me to it. You beat me to it. They took it away from poor George Kittle. Out of nowhere. No one saw that coming.
Every drive you're doing a line?
Man. Yeah, every drive, man. Listen, whatever it takes to get you going. I'm not mad at his bath salt addiction. It just seems a little weird, though. It seems a little bit more. Listen, I live in Tampa. I just feel like that's more of a Florida man thing. But do you, George?
From what I read, the teams are banned from providing them. I feel like the loophole from what I've read is that you might be able to get high on your own supply. From what I've read, so maybe it's still possible. I have no idea. It's kind of like the chew. It's like the chew in baseball, right, Jake? Like everybody's still doing that, right? For the most part, aren't you grandfathered in?
Well, it's just I just think that's so stupid. The whole like, oh well, as long as the team's not supplying you, like, it's just I hate that.
Oh, man. Jesse, you mentioned 10 wins. Anything less than that would be unsatisfactory. In order to get to that number, you'd have to think, or at least if you want to get to that number, best chance to get to that number, a healthy CMC, your best bet towards getting to that number. What's the overall vibe right now on Christian McCaffrey going into this upcoming year? We know when he's healthy, it doesn't get much better. What's the overall perception? Is it conflicting, and is it just really up in the air and everyone's kind of saying, we'll see what it looks like when we get into real action?
Well, I sent 49ers Twitter in a blaze about a month ago when I said that CMC looked like he had lost a step from what I was seeing in the couple videos that were posted. And of course, all the rah cheerleader 49er fans, beat writers, they pushed back a little bit. They said that CMC looks like the best he's ever been. So I guess if I'm going to listen to the guys that cover the team best and know what they're talking about, then CMC should be OPOY again. We should expect 2,000 all-purpose yards, 20-plus touchdowns. Anything less than that would say that he's lost a step, I would say. So I guess we'll find out. But, reports seem to be a little bit mixed. Some guys think that he looks, a little bit slower, but ultimately he's healthy. And the biggest thing that he can do to help this team is in the pass game. It's not as a running back. Of course, he's great there too, but Brock Purdy really missed that last year. He didn't trust the options as far as checkdowns went, and it was clear he was passing them up routinely, going for bigger downfield options, which didn't fare well for him. And so I think just the safety blanket of CMC helps everybody out, Brock Purdy included, and that's what I expect most from him.
Our friend Megan from Down Under coming in with a big old super chat for the fellas. Megan saying, welcome back, boys. Great to see you back.
I'll put that in there, Z-Bot, sorry.
Nope, don't apologize. In fact, you mind doing it again? Because it's so great to see Megan pop up on the screen.
Oh, geez.
Please clap.
Megan saying, so great to see you. Great to see you back. Just got put on crutches for a badly sprained right knee. Love what I saw from the Hawks at camp. Thank you to Brandon for the coverage. Let's go Hawks. Well, Megan, hopefully you're not out for the entirety of the rest of the offseason, or at least hopefully you're healthy when regular season rolls around. But bummer to hear about the sprained right knee. Hope you get off the crutches soon. I've never been on crutches. Knock on wood, by the way, fellas. Anybody here ever had to do the whole crutch thing?
Unfortunately.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, big time.
I had a pretty gnarly ankle surgery. I've got I fractured my ankle, had to have a surgery, get some new cartilage put in. 6 weeks wearing a boot and a knee scooter, and then another month on crutches was awful.
So right, Megan, what he's saying is it could be worse. Yeah.
I got hit by a car and I was on crutches for like a week.
Forgot about that. Yeah.
I forgot. How can I forget about that? It's come up so many times. How can I possibly forget about that?
It's only funny if you survive. That's the
exactly.
way.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And thank God you did. You've survived that. You survived a lightning strike on the show before. Remember, we got you out just in the nick of time before it evaporated. Right. I think that was the last time we were all on together.
Yeah.
Really?
It took out your power. Yeah. I think it might have been. Well, either way, no lightning on over you tonight, which is good.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Is lightning striking for Sam Darnold in Seattle, Brandon? What's the deal? What's the story coming out of Seattle in terms of how they're feeling about bringing Sam Darnold in from Minnesota, who's coming off the best season of his career, helped Minnesota fight for a 1 seed in the NFC all the way to the last game of the year? Talk to me about the overall vibe going into the upcoming season here with Sam Darnold leading the charge.
Oh, there was a great amount of trepidation, mostly in the Seahawks fan base, when Geno Smith moved on in favor of Sam Darnold this offseason. And everybody was really thinking that he was going to revert back into the old Sam, the Sam we all remember from the New York Jets that was seeing ghosts. And I can say now, confirming going down to training camp, seeing him in person, and the reports that we're hearing in addition to this on other days of training camp, is that you're getting the good version of Sam here. Is he going to have as good a year as he did last year with Minnesota? I don't know. But I do know that you're not going to get a reversion here. And so that's giving a lot of people a ton of confidence moving into this season that you're not taking a big step backwards when it comes to the quarterback position. And instead, it's more of, if anything, a lateral move, and may even be a better move when it's all said and done for some other factors involved here. So the early returns on Darnold have been good. Watching him in person, comparing him to the other three quarterbacks, he is sure, he is steady. His mechanics are on point. He knows where he's going with the football. This is a guy that feels like a guy that's played in this league now for a couple of years and feels, ready to go, ready to take this opportunity and run with it.
Speaking of the other quarterbacks, I know you weren't ecstatic about the idea of taking in Jalen Milroe, but what does that look like thus far, even in a limited capacity, taking backup snaps? What does that look like? And is there any glimmer there that when Sam Darnold's time in Seattle is done, whenever that might be, he's still young, of course, it could be a while, but is there any public pressure on a Jalen Milroe starting at some point, or is everybody kind of on board with Sam Darnold taking the reins here, and we'll see what happens with Jalen Milroe?
That's going to be the internal battle that I have to fight every single stream, whether I like it or not. So I'm already making my peace with that one. But as far as how he's looked, you have gotten glimmers. He has made the big plays down the field. He's shown you the big arm. You can feel the speed on the football field when he tucks it and run, and that's going to be a problem for NFL defenses, whether he develops as a quarterback or not, just in the little kitschy role that they're going to try to put him into this season. But you do feel him showing some progress. I will say with that, you do still see the rough spots, the rough moments in the short and intermediate game, the mechanical issues that exist from the bottom to the top. I do like where he's at with his shortened delivery, going basically from low to high. It's the old Marino, you just up and out as opposed to the windup. He's really a quarterback that goes efficiently there. It's just the rest of the process needs a little bit of heavy correction. He's going to need the time to get that fixed, and that means not immediately. The other part of this, Will, is you just get the decision-making. He had one play in camp where he decided to do a 1953 jump pass down around the goal line, and he managed to complete it for a touchdown, but then he was like, wow, that worked. Came back the next series in training camp, tried again, and threw a pick six interception over the top. It's kind of what you're going to get with Milroe right now. If you're thinking you can go out there and have him start, he needs his time. Give him the Aaron Rodgers treatment, and then let's see where this kid is at in a couple of years.
Speaking of Aaron Rodgers, I can't help but notice over your left shoulder, you have Aaron Rodgers' #1 target still up on your wall.
Yeah.
I remember when the Bills lost Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs in succession in one offseason, and all of a sudden it was just slap the panic button. I don't care who's playing quarterback. There's no way you're going to be able to fill the shoes here. DK Metcalf, one of the bigger household names at the position in the league. What's the general consensus been around trying to replace the production? Is there a lot of worry that the pass game is going to suffer dramatically from not having DK out there? Or up until this point, has it felt like the Seahawks have bounced back about as well as they could?
I think people have slowly started to make their peace in understanding that this was not just a merely you have good player, sign player, that it's also about the fit to the offense, fit to the team within where they're at in their career and the timing, where you are with cap space. The NFL is a complicated game in that respect of things. And I think people took a little bit of time in Seattle to kind of quite understand why this thing went where it went. But it just comes down to when you brought in Kubiak with this type of offense as a bottom line, precision route running the full route tree, that's not necessarily DK's game. And he goes to an offense in Pittsburgh with Arthur Smith and company that's going to root itself in running the ball, dragging one of those safeties up in the box, and then getting DK one-on-one opportunities to go cook on the outside. So it can be a real win-win situation for everybody involved here. But for the decision and direction that was more important than DK Metcalf, the offense, and getting it fixed, you had to go down this line.
Feed Me More's coming in. He's saying, at least we know Mike's hair day never changes. I think that's a compliment. It's looking good to me, Mike.
Appreciate it.
How are the Cardinals looking? We have a couple of year sample size here where we were not where we wanted to be last year. It definitely felt like a step forward, 8-9, and it felt like there was certainly room for improvement, especially towards the end of the year. Now you go into this year, and I would have to imagine you and the rest of the Cardinals faithful are looking forward to seeing that step, getting into a winning record potentially, and then fighting for a playoff spot. Based on what you've seen up until now through training camp this offseason, what are the overall expectations? Is there a lot of optimism surrounding this team? Are expectations around where they were last year? What's the overall vibe around the Cardinals right now?
No, expectations is pretty darn high for the Arizona Cardinals right now. The fan base and a lot of national media has, kind of forgot that Kyler Murray is going into his year 7. It kind of feels like we don't really talk about Kyler Murray when it comes down to the national media. And of course, Arizona Cardinals don't really give them a reason to talk about them nationally on a consistent basis. But when it comes down to it, for the most part, everything that Jonathan Gannon, Monty Ossenfort, a lot of the leaders within this locker room, they all know what's in front of them. Usually year 3, you got to take that next step. And hopefully that's going to be the playoffs here for the Cardinals. Now, yes, last year when we went only 8 games, but potentially double digits, We all know the narrative of the Cardinals, the crashing and burning at the second part of the season. We're hoping that actually gets fixed up in year 3. Now, there's a lot of eyes. There's a lot of eyes on this offense for Kyler, as well as Drew Petzing, our offensive coordinator, and just Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler's connection in general. One thing that we know is going to be for sure is that Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray's connection, at least in training camp, has gotten better. Now, we're going to be seeing it consistently. We'll have to kind of wait and see. But right now, the number one option for Kyler Murray is Trey McBride. This man is being fed left and right in training camp, and he's still right now the number one option for Kyler Murray. He seems to be that safety blanket. So right now, expectations is playoffs. I'm going to be real. I know there might be some people laughing here in the chat, but that is the next step here for Jonathan Gannon. Anything else other than that, it will be kind of feeling disappointing. Now, of course, we're an 8-win team. You say you're a 9-win team. That's you're going in the right direction. But for me, my expectations, I would love to see double digits and hopefully a playoff berth, because that's something that's haunting Kyler Murray and this current regime right now of the crashing and burning at the second part of the season.
Obviously, Trey McBride, the safety blanket, one of the best in the league. But Marvin Harrison Jr. was drafted to be one of the best wide receivers in the league. Last year, just didn't live up to the billing. I know how crazy those expectations can be on a guy who comes out of college expected to be instantly one of the best. You mentioned him a little bit, but going into this year, are the expectations even more seismic just because last year wasn't all that great, or have they been tempered and people are just hoping that we see some progression out of Marvin Harrison Jr.?
I think they're expecting the next jump for Marvin Harrison Jr. And you can tell here that the way that the Arizona Cardinals ended up maneuvering through this offseason, they went so gung-ho on what the biggest weakness of this Arizona Cardinal team was on the defensive side of the ball, right? Or sorry, of the 2024 Arizona Cardinals, which is the defensive side of the ball. They went so heavy with absolutely upgrading that defensive line, draft, as well as for free agency. You really didn't see a offensive weapon or offensive guy being put onto the Arizona Cardinals that, that's new going into 2025. So they saw their weakness, they elevated it, but it almost kind of shows that they do have confidence for Marvin Harrison Jr. to take that next step. Now, of course, not a lot of teams have Trey McBride. I'm not sure if we didn't have it, maybe they would go into getting a wide receiver or maybe bring in another veteran. But because we do have a Trey McBride, I think they are expecting Marvin Harrison Jr. to take that next step and hopefully become a 1,000-yard wide receiver. But, with what we've seen in the offseason and, things in training camp, we're all going to be watching as the miscommunication is still happening. Now, you mentioned this a little earlier. The Cardinals will be playing in preseason, the starters. Now, we don't know exactly what that looks like. Is that 1 drive, 2 drives? We don't exactly know. But Jonathan Gannon has now made the official statement that it is for the best interest for this Arizona Cardinal team to play their starters in preseason, and I absolutely love it. We started too many times absolutely cold in the start of the season, so now it's time for a different look, and I'm excited that they're going to be playing preseason.
I don't blame you. I'm always kind of jealous of the teams that do that, because at least you get to see a little glimpse of it before the season starts, and I don't think it can harm all that much. Obviously, it makes headlines when it does, but you're trying to take that next step, and you can't fault getting extra reps when they're available to you. Now, we mentioned Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride. We talked about Kyren Williams, CMC, DK Metcalf. All of these players are surely on your fantasy draft board. I knew that was going to happen. I knew all of us were going to just vanish because it happened to me the last time I did this, but I caught myself this time. As I was saying, all of these players might be on your fantasy draft board. And if you're like me, you wait to do your fantasy draft right before the season starts because you don't want to risk any injury or any holdouts or whatever else. And in order to get best prepared for your fantasy draft coming down the pipeline here, you're going to want to use RotoWire, who is the proud sponsor of this episode and of Roundtable Sports. The promo code is in the description below. It's RTS along with the link. So use the promo code RTS through that link, and it'll get you 15% off a premium subscription. Here's what it gets you. The coolest thing about this website is they have this tool. You go to NFL, you go to tools, and then you go to draft assistant. And I could have used this for the dynasty one I did because I can already tell I could have used some help. You go down here to start a draft, and you can customize this however you want. So I'll just name this NFC West Roundtable, or NFCW for short. And you customize pretty much everything that pertains to how you want to go about your fantasy draft. So in the early rounds, you can play it safe, balanced, or aim for upside, and you can choose those categories in the middle and late rounds as well. Once you get all of your settings configured here, You can add players as well, specific guys you want to target in on, even a draft strategy, which, I wish I had one of those too before I went into doing all this. Once you get that all configured, boom, it brings you into this hub. And this is one of the coolest tools I've seen for fantasy just because of the way it's laid out. It's so simple, so clean, and it has everything you're going to need. You can see these player cards for all of the players that are up next on the clock or would likely be drafted next. And of course, you can search for anybody else that you're looking for. And it has all of these different attributes, the value, the upside, everything. Super clean, the best looking fantasy tool that I've seen. Definitely going to be using it in my fantasy draft. I know the fellas are too. You should as well. RTS is the promo code, 15% off on RotoWire. The link is in the description below. One other thing we wanted to share with you that we're excited about is we are now offering a Patreon. And I'm sure you've heard of Patreon before. You might be wondering, well, what does that entail? Well, you can read on your screen here, Patreon call-in. And it sounds exactly like what it reads. We are doing call-ins on the NFC West Roundtable throughout the season. And Mike said it best. Oh, boy, is right. We read the super chats. We want you to call in and read them aloud to us. You can do that by becoming a Patreon member. The link in the description below, also in the live chat. You just click that link, you become a Patreon member, and you are eligible to call into the show and also take advantage of a variety of other perks. There's a Discord in there, exclusive shows throughout the Roundtable network, a bunch of stuff. But the call-in feature, easily the best feature. And I look forward to seeing some of you guys take advantage of that because I know once we get into the season, it could get a little crazy. And you guys calling in could add to the craziness. So make sure to take advantage of that. All right, I want to spin it around the table. I want to talk about real quick. Go ahead, Jesse.
Real quick, because this is unique to the NFC West as well. And this is something that we launched during the offseason. But we do have that game event. Yes. Rams versus 49ers, Thursday night football. There are still some tickets available. $300 is going to get you into a live podcast the day before the game. It's going to get you into the tailgate, and then it's going to get you tickets with us at the game, all for just $300. We are all going to be there, the whole crew. So if you are going to that game or thinking about going to that game, link is right there in the chat. I just dropped it. $300 all in gets you a 2-day full event hanging out with the fellas. That is the only roundtable. This is the only roundtable that is actually having an event other than the guys that run the channel in the AFC East. So make sure you tap in with us. Thursday night football in just 2 months. Cannot wait.
Look at those animated characters. I mean, who would not want to hang? I know I made it. I didn't even ask to be made. So I'm just, and you want to know what I love about this? So what I love about that, it's my profile picture I've had forever with the Bills hat on. Someone took the liberty of photoshopping a Roundtable hat on, which is just phenomenal. Don't think that went unnoticed. Richie and the fellas, that really made my day when I saw it. I'm like, man, someone took a little bit of time out of their day to add the Roundtable logo. But no, Jesse, I know. But you nailed it, Jesse. And fellas, I don't know how excited you are. I can only speak for you, but I would imagine you're as excited as I am. I cannot wait. And it's a deal of the decade. $300, like Jesse said. Yeah. I thought it cost $300 to park at SoFi. We're going to get in the building for $300 plus a hell of a lot more. And we do have tickets still available. And by the way, there may or may not be a banger teaser video, a trailer video that a certain host of the NFC West Roundtable is currently working on to play for you guys next week that could maybe convince you a little further to come and hang out with the gang for that Thursday night football game. We cannot wait 2 months from now. And that's going to have big implications, I would imagine, early on in the season on this division under the lights. So let's keep talking about the division. I want to spin things around the table here and talk about things coming out of camp that maybe everybody else doesn't know about outside of the fan base of your own team. I want to talk about things that are happening that you're excited about going into the year that maybe, a fan of another team in the division or another team outside of the division would not know about. Jake, I want to start with you. Obviously, we know Kyren Williams extended today. That was the big news. But overall, throughout training camp here this offseason, anything stand out to you for the Rams that has you excited that maybe somebody else that doesn't follow the team as closely would not know about?
Yeah. What just happened today with the joint practices with the Cowboys? Just everything I was seeing, not just from Rams reporters, but Cowboys reporters. the Rams ran roughshod of the Cowboys today. And that's great because Jimmy Garoppolo is starting. And I saw there was a no-look pass to Puka Nacua, and they were just having fun today. I mean, Jared Verse was tormenting them. Really good stuff from Tutu Atwell. They weren't able to stop him. Devontae Adams looks absolutely insane. But aside from just that, I would also say, man, do they have another one? I told you guys last year with Jordan Whittington, and his story is not written. I'm still very high on him, and as are the Rams. He's made significant strides. He looks even better this year. But I just keep hearing about Konate Mumfield, the last pick they made in this draft out of Pittsburgh, and I don't know, man. Like, I'm not out there, but just the glowing reports I'm getting from Konate Mumfield, it is wild. And another thing I wasn't expecting, he did not practice today. But Nate Landman, who they got in free agency, was with the Falcons, always been a really good run defender, but he has taken over as the linebacker wearing the green dot. Just absolute rave reviews with this guy. They said, he's really good in coverage, and obviously he's always been good, in the run. That's, his calling card, but just his communication. Chris Shula's been raving about him. Sean McVay's been raving about him. They think they have an absolute stud there in him. And then, of course, I got to mention Ahkello Witherspoon's been a leader in the back end of that secondary. He's really, taken up the mantle now. His first full training camp he gets to be a part of with the Rams. And, he's also receiving, glowing reviews. Was all over Puka Nacua in the recent training camp practice. But right now, it just feels like the Rams feel really good about where they're at. And, I'm excited to see what ends up happening. I think the thing I'm most excited to see, and he's dealing with something right now, but how much are they going to use Terrence Ferguson? Because if they use him as much as I think they can use him, this guy could win Offensive Rookie of the Year with the type of rave reviews he gets. So there's a lot of good. But, of course, I always say this when you're talking about training camp, you're talking about practice, you're not talking about preseason, you're not even talking about the regular season. It's always important to just take things with a grain of salt. So obviously that stuff sounds good, but I'm a big believer in, we'll see when we see it, right? So that's what I have.
Yeah, definitely. It's the most manic time of the year. Mike, what do you got?
Just when I talk, can we put that TD's comments up there? That comment from TD.
Oh, with pleasure. What do we have? Please.
Whenever we're ready.
Point me in the right direction.
It says Arizona winning the division. It's probably a little few up. So I kind of need that energy when I'm talking.
I'll take my time to find this one. I'll take my time.
It's
Here
up
we
at
go.
9:37. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. Arizona
TD
winning
trolls talk.
the division. Yeah. According to TD.
Well, Miami winning that division.
2031.
I'm shocked TD's got time to weigh in the comment section. I thought he was mediating between Tyreek Hill and Tua this over the week here. I thought he was sitting down with the boys trying to figure things out. I'm glad you were able to stop by, TD.
Let me
He's
give
got
you
the
a
Cardinals.
little insight.
TD,
Let me
you got
give you a
your-
little insight. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, TD, you got your star left tackles retiring due to Jared Verse. I don't know about you talking about the division right now.
Yeah, he is.
All right, look.
I was gonna say there. So we have a host chat. So I'm now hosting a couple of the shows for the Roundtable Sports, and TD says, "Hey, are you excited for your first show?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely." It was just before we went live here, and he goes, "Channel your inner Tua," and I said, "Great." So I'm gonna have a pick six and be concussed within the first few minutes of my first show. I can't wait. Thanks,
Good
TD.
Damn.
Gosh,
You might not
as well
even
say
make
break
it.
a leg.
I mean, that's like getting struck by lightning.
Yeah, that's not. I don't think he was trying to hype you up there at that point.
No,
I think he was. That's the problem. I think that's the problem. I think he genuinely was.
No, we need to reprogram TD at this point.
If that was TD's like Harbaugh impression where he came up to me and like hit me on the pads to get me excited, didn't work, TD.
If that's a term of endearment, he's got to work on some other ones.
It's more like a light tapping. It's kind of like a.
Jesse, you said it'd be a disappointment if the Niners didn't get to 10 wins. TD's got you at 5. So TD's got the over-under for the Niners at 5.
Is that the first 6 weeks, TD? I'm confused. Is that
feels
it's a
retaliatory.
17-game season, right? Yeah.
Mike McDaniel the other day asked how he was doing. He said it's one day closer to death. That's what Mike McDaniel's response was. So that's what's going down in Miami currently. TD, I'm always praying for you, brother. I always am, especially week 3 when we are in Buffalo. Speaking of events, I mean, I can't wait for ours. But man, can I not wait to watch a Bills-Dolphins game in person with TD. And if you don't know TD, what's scary is we like to mess around here. You meet TD in person though, and he's like 6'5". First time I walk up on TD, I'm like, wait a minute, I might need to lay off the Dolphins a little bit the next time I got TD in the chat. So I always keep that in mind. We were talking about what we liked out of Rams camp. Jake really listed off a bunch there, especially on the defensive side of the ball. It really seemed like Jake, and that seems to be what's trending upward the most with these Rams. And that's no discredit to their offense. It just feels like this Rams defense, young and coming from a team that had Aaron Donald, Von Miller, gets to a Super Bowl and wins it. It feels like they have wasted no time bouncing back. And it seems like that's the vibe you're getting right now.
Did you see what Albert Breer said about the defensive line?
I did not.
He said best in the league.
Wow.
Now, some of you guys, the Giants, you called me a homer.
The Giants
you called me a homer for saying, all right.
The Giants.
I don't think it was the
defensive
tackle take you had. I think it was more the corner safety take that we were.
Oh, well, I was right.
Raising our
and
arms
we'll see it this year. I'll just say that. But I was right.
Let's swing it over to the Niners. By the way, I got to keep track. We have so many takes that I got to go back and watch because I know we got a lot of things we have to track throughout the season here to see which way it goes. So remind me of that one. Rams best secondary in the league. Is that what we're writing down right now that we got to track?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think they're the best secondary in the league.
Right, guys.
They're the best secondary.
I think they're Jesse.
They're the best secondary in this division.
In the division.
But the defensive line, I said was the best in the division, and I said, yeah, it could be up there with one of the best in the league. And Albert Breer says today, yeah, best in the league. So a lot of people said that I was being a homer, but you have a NFL reporter who reports on all 32 teams, and he seems to believe that unit is not only the best in the NFC West, they're the best in the NFL. So just saying.
Monday morning quarterback never lies, Jake. We'll see if he's right going into the season. Jesse, you mentioned a few guys earlier, right? We talked about the health of CMC. That's something we're going to keep an eye on with the Niners. Ricky Pearsall is a guy you mentioned that really stands out because I think the Niners are going to be reliant on him really becoming a focal point for this offense. And of course, you talked about the revamped defense in the draft here for San Francisco. So your big takeaways thus far through the training camp period, and what's standing out? What has you excited, optimistic about this team that maybe not everybody's talking about?
Yeah, I mean, look, the offense we kind of expect with CMC and Kittle and Pearsall's emergence. You got Jennings and Ayuk eventually coming back, Brock Purdy. They should be fine. But really, it's the defense. And yes, Robert Saleh's back. He's a great D coordinator, but you need some pieces. And there's a lot of young pieces they're relying on. As of right now, the first 5 picks of their draft were all defense focused. And it's not the first or the second round pick that's getting everybody excited. It's the third and the fourth round picks. It's the CJ West is dominating. 4th round pick for the 49ers, absolutely dominating the middle of that offensive line. He is a menace every single time and against good players. Dominic Pooney, we know, is a good player. He's owning him in practice. It's been very, very impressive. And then Upton Stout and Nick Martin, the two, I would say, most controversial picks on draft night. I know myself included. It was never about the players. I think they're both good players, but I felt like the value, they could have gotten them a little bit later. Maybe I was wrong about that. And we haven't played a game yet, so I'm not quite sure. But I did mention Upton Stout a little bit earlier, the leadership role he's taking. He's reached out to K'Wan Williams, ex-49er who was fantastic for Robert Saleh playing that nickel spot. He's turned into a leader as a young player, and he's an absolute baller. And then Nick Martin over the last couple of days has kind of stolen the story of training camp. He is everywhere out there. So these young players right now seem to be making a mark. And like I said, it's not even the first or the second round pick. Those guys are going to be fine too. It's the guys they got a little bit later. So if these rookies can truly contribute, they might have something special brewing in San Francisco on the defense.
I got to give a shout out to the graphics team, by the way, over at Roundtable Sports. I'm just admiring the look of the screen right now. I'm loving the lower third, the white boxes. ESPN just acquired, fellas, Red Zone and NFL Network. They might be acquiring the NFC West Roundtable at some point, based on how this is looking right now. Although I think we might want to stay out. We might want to keep doing our own thing the way things are going over there. You know what I mean? We might want to keep doing our own thing. Brandon, it feels like when I hear about the Seahawks, there's just a lot of unknown right now about Seattle going into the year. It could really go one way or the other. And it felt like that last year too. It just felt like every week. I remember when the Bills played Seattle, I was genuinely nervous about it. It just feels like that's one team that if you catch them when they're on the right foot, or when you catch them and they're feeling it, they're going to get you. And it just feels like going into this year, if Sam Darnold is able to channel what he had last year, and if they are able to take another step here, they really could be a threat in the NFC. So from what you've seen from training camp, what's something that you would say to somebody who doesn't really know which way to lean on this team right now? What are you getting out of camp that has you kind of going one way or the other here?
I think Jake and Jesse's greatest fears about this particular team are, as much as anything, the things that are going to be coming true this year. When it comes to the offense, when it comes to the offensive line, that'll remain to be seen once we get live, whether or not that's going to take. But is Mike Macdonald that type of mastermind coach, that next in the breed coming along of brilliant minds that can build a defense that you really can't counter at times, that always seems to feel a step ahead? And is what he's doing right now is now layering in this second layer of his playbook, because this is a complicated playbook, because it is not easy to deal with. The first year was not going to happen immediately where he just drops the whole playbook on you and says, here we go, fellas. And what you're seeing in training camp right now is more wrinkles, is more stack boxes, is more blitzing, is more pressure. He is willing now to dial up a lot more exotic looks than I was seeing last year at training camp. And I think that's just going to now carry on into the season. And he is going to confuse the hell out of opponents this upcoming year. The players talk over and over again about this guy as a genius, that he is one of the smartest coaches they've ever come across. And to a man, over and over again, they say that. And that's not something I always used to hear about people talk about, let's say, Coach Carroll, in the same regards when it came to this kind of discussion of things. So it's true, it's real in what he's bringing to play. You're returning all 11 starters. You're returning 15 guys that started games last year. And then, oh, by the way, Nick Emawari has been the star of training camp. He's got 3 interceptions in training camp. They're legitimate, not overthrows, not tip passes, him jumping balls, him winning on 9 routes down the field. That guy is the real deal. And you've got Seattle reporters talking to me on the weekend, talking about gold jacket-like comparisons to this guy out the gate. And these are not guys that deal in hyperbole. And this guy, I think, looks like the real meal deal. So you put all that together, this defense is going to be lethal.
You know, Jake put it best earlier when he said you got to take everything out of training camp with a grain of salt. I went up to Rochester for a Bills practice, and the one thing that you can take away outside of the field is just the overall pulse of the fan base based on what's going on at a training camp. And obviously right now, Josh Allen, he's like Elton John. He just, anywhere he goes, everyone's following him. You can barely get a ticket, even though they're free. So everybody's just stoked, right? You said you went to training camp, Brandon. A lot of changes, right, over the last couple of seasons for Seattle. And I know last year we were talking about, the 12th man wasn't showing up maybe the way that it used to, and it just wasn't the overall vibe that you're used to out of Seattle. When you went to training camp, what was the sense that you got, the overall feeling from the fan base? Is there optimism there, excitement going into 2025?
Absolutely. The second day I was there at camp, and someone else that was a person that covers the team remarked as this as well, that it was as packed as they had seen at a training camp, almost like they had oversold the tickets. Then going down to the scrimmage at Lumen Field the next day, the fans were into it. You were feeling a little bit of I would say, an uptick in the vibe. And I'd say this last year, even when there was a lot more uncertainty that was kind of existing up there amongst the faithful, as far as looking at Mike Macdonald and going 37 years old, first-time head coach, you're moving on from Carroll. How's this going to go exactly? But there does feel to be a little bit of a rebirthed spirit in the 12s here a little bit. And hopefully that carries forward in the season. We don't see fans taking over the stadium a little bit like we did last year. And there's going to be a lot of reason, I think, for them to be all positive, because they're going to get a good team out there on the field.
Love to hear it. One of the best fan bases in the league, and hopefully they're back in prime form in 2025. All right, Mike, talk to me. Obviously, we're looking forward to maybe a next step here from Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride, one of the best in the league, Kyler Murray. We're always wondering what version we're going to get. Is it going to be maybe an MVP caliber Kyler Murray, or are people going to consistently make the jokes that Black Ops 7 is on the horizon here?
They're always going to continue. Yeah.
I know. I saw the
Battlefield.
promo for it today, and I'm like, yeah, someone's going to drop that at some point throughout the year here. But early on here, right, preseason, heading into the weekend, we talked about it a little bit earlier, where they're going to be starting their starters, seeing what they have. What are you taking away thus far from camp that has you optimistic, excited, that maybe not everybody's talking about, something to hone in on with Arizona that could help them get to that winning record and perhaps beyond?
Yeah, something that's not really talked about a lot is that with the Cardinals have been dealing with some injuries. We ended up starting off with, unfortunately, B.J. Ojulari, which is a former second-round pick on the PUP list. We have our 16th overall pick this year on Walter Nolan on the PUP list to start training camp. And then we ended up having Bilal Nichols as well. So we got a lot of defensive linemen on the PUP list. But, I think Walter Nolan will hopefully be back soon. But we also had a lot of injuries within the cornerback room with Sean Murphy Bunting. He was just done to begin with. And then we unfortunately got a injury with Starling Thomas V, which is said to be one of our starters. But with what we've seen from our second round pick and Will Johnson out of Michigan, man, there's just so much excitement. Like last year, the hype was about Marvin Harrison Jr. getting with 4th overall pick. But I kid you not, more people are excited about the Will Johnson and what he does with the interceptions and the, matching with these wide receivers that the Cardinals have. Everybody's excited about Will Johnson. He's looked as advertised, and of course, he has something to prove. He's got a chip on his shoulder, and nevertheless, this defense looks really solid. Like even from the beginning of training camp, and of course, when it's 7-on-7s or 11-on-11s, of course, the offense gets their shots here and there. We got some crazy catches by Marvin Harrison Jr., one-handed catches, throwing his body, things like that, contested catches because he's got a little bit bigger. But our defense has shown pretty well. Now, it's really hard to really evaluate your defense because although we're going 100%, you're not really going 100% with the defense, right? Because even if you're back there, you're going to have to hold up because you're not going to be able to touch your quarterback back there. So that's just kind of the way that it is. But overall, I feel like our defense look pretty solid. I'm really excited about our secondary. Garrett Williams going into his year 3, which is very, very underrated. Mainly talked about as a nickel guy, but I feel like I'm very happy with the young guys that we got in our secondary. And of course, you got your veterans back there with Jalen Thompson and Budda Baker. But the main, I guess, question mark going into this year is there's only one on each side. One of them on the defensive side of the ball is probably going to be your inside linebacker next to Mac Wilson Sr. It's going to be Akeem Davis-Gaither, which there's some people that are kind of high praise. There's just a lot of unknown when it comes down to that specific position. And on the other side of the ball, which is an important, a piece, but the wide receiving core, we ended up seeing Michael Wilson, unfortunately, go down a couple training camps back. He ended up colliding with Budda Baker, so he's on concussion protocol. So that leaves Marvin Harrison Jr., Zay Jones, Greg Dortch, and some other guys that people don't really know about. But the little concern with the wide receiving core, I was hoping we would bring some veterans in, but Cardinals are really gung-ho on the current wide receivers that they currently have right now. But the biggest, I guess, thing to talk about leaving training camp is just what we've seen from Will Johnson so far, second round pick. So he's looking pretty darn good so far.
Champy's coming in. He's saying hella super chats missed. Champy, I don't know if you're new to the NFC West Roundtable. If you are, welcome. But it's the best time of the show. We're at the 50-minute mark, and that means it's super chat time. Brandon's going to be dusting off that soundboard. We're going to be letting him fire. You let him rip, and we are going to read him off, starting with Ruiz. This is a comment, Jake, back to the extension to Kyren Williams today. Ruiz isn't loving it. He's saying we're doing all this just to have Hunter win the role by week 12. Wish he fumbled the pen. 30 years being his longest, 30 yards, I would imagine, being his longest run and a fumbler. Will be gone in 2 years for a 7th pick. Man, Ruiz not loving the extension, Jake.
Yeah, I love Ruiz. I know
everybody
Ruiz,
knows you never go full retire.
The problem right now with Rams fans is that this is their problem with Kyren Williams. It's the fumbling. And, they'll say whatever they will about his lack of explosives, but until somebody made a thread about that on Twitter, no one gave a shit. Okay, let's not act like, oh, yeah, we're watching on Sundays and, yeah, it's those explosives. No one cared until it was finally brought up by somebody. But I've maintained this point, okay? The explosives, the yards over expected, I just think you are distorting the image of what is actually happening. Kyren Williams is one of the best touchdown, scorers in the league. Okay. And without him, this team can't score in the red zone, or, they couldn't last year. Okay. And when he missed 4 games, they went 1-3 in 2023. The offense was absolutely abysmal. Okay. They got Blake Corum because they loved Kyren Williams' skill set so much. They wanted to get another dude that was similar to him. So when he has to come off the field, they don't have to completely change their offense. The reality of the situation is this. Kyren Williams is a good running back, but there are people that they saw Saquon Barkley. They don't realize that Kyren Williams, 2 years as a starter, averaged more yards per game than any point in Saquon Barkley's career until this past year. And what they'll say is, well, you know, they have a great they have a great run blocking unit. Okay, maybe that's true, but the offensive line all of last year was constantly rotating in and out, all sorts of guys. Jonah Jackson, did he play every game? No. Was he playing out of position? Yes. Steve Avila misses half the season. Okay, Kevin Dotson is playing banged up. There were all sorts of guys. Justin Diedick is starting. You have a guy, Logan Bruss, who doesn't even finish the season on the Rams. He's starting. AJ Arcuri's in there. And I just don't feel like Kyren gets enough credit because anytime he runs well, it was, well, the offensive line blocked well. But when the offensive line is playing like absolute dog water, it's, oh, Kyren just, he has no vision. No, he has vision. You can't have it both ways. You can't say trust in McVay, trust in Snead. They know what they're doing. And then when they go out and they actually extend a player, it's, oh, I don't know. They don't know what they're doing. Yeah, they do. They went out and they draft running backs every year. You guys know this. Drafted Cam Akers. They drafted Darrell Henderson, right? They always go out and get running backs. But they just were like, hey, Blake Corum can help us. And then this year, their favorite running back in the draft, which I don't know if I entirely agree, but their favorite running back in the draft, at least where they picked him, was Jarquez Hunter. So they drafted him. It doesn't have to be this guy's a starter, this guy's not a starter. Kyren Williams was a 5th round pick that they drafted because they loved his work ethic. They loved his leadership, the rave reviews that he got from Notre Dame, and most importantly, pass pro. That was the thing that was constantly reported is this guy is an absolute dynamo in pass pro. And guess what? Not long after, he takes over from Cam Akers, who they drafted in the 2nd round because he worked harder. He understood the playbook better. He had better vision. He did all the little things. Okay. And that is why he's starting. So when you're wondering like why random dudes are starting or why like this guy, fine. But Kyren also has the stats to back it up. Let's not act like he hasn't had over 1,000 yards the last 2 years. He has had 31 touchdowns the last 2 years. It's like, that's the issue is I can understand if you had other guys in mind, that's totally fine. But we're talking about a guy that's very successful in this league and we're acting like he's chopped liver and I just don't get it. But again, love you, Ruiz. I just think that you're wrong on this one.
Add Ruiz's hot take to the list of things we have to track throughout the season. He has Jarquez Hunter starting by week 12 over newly extended Kyren Williams. So we'll mark that down. Ruiz, we're going to hold you to it. So we're going to bring this one back at least by week 12. Megan's coming back in, updating us on her crutches situation. She's on crutches for 4 weeks, 7 weeks before her big trip to Sydney to see Back to the Future, the musical. Wow. At Sydney Opera House, I would assume. I'm just assuming because I'm assuming. Not my first rodeo. Timing sucks is all. Hey, crutches or not, that sounds incredible, Megan. Enjoy that.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty sweet.
Absolutely.
Get better out there. Thank you for the dono.
Yeah, big time. Thank you, Megan.
Appreciate
for sure. Get well soon. Ethan's coming in. He's saying he was locked down at camp with you, Brandon, and he's saying you guys took a look at Horton and Emanwari. Looking good. You feel the same as Ethan then, obviously.
Yeah, Horton's another guy that looks as advertised with guys, including on this panel, that I know were high, and I'm to give you guys credit on it. And your scouting eyes, well cited.
I love me some Horton.
Horton had Reek Woolen calling him Jerry Rice Jr. at camp today earlier, and Emanwari again. They're using him just all over the place, and the picks he's making are outstanding. Like he's in the back of the end zone, tipping it away from the receiver back into his own hands to reel it in, where you're feeling both speed, length, ball skills all at play, that type of stuff. So it was fun to watch at camp, those two youngsters coming forward, especially for where our wide receiver position is, where you've got some question marks there.
Campy's coming in. Speaking of the wide receiver position, he disagrees on Harrison being disappointing last year. In fact, he thinks that he got schemed against as a rookie because he was so good that took him out of kind of contention for being deemed as good as he was supposed to be. And he thinks that Malik Neighbors is going to take a step back. What are your thoughts on that, Mike?
Well, shout out here. Yeah. First Cardinals super chat, love it. But yeah, I mean, going back to this, I mean, I think this goes back to like just Cardinal fans in general, right? Because I kind of feel the same way when it comes down to like everybody says like the national perspective, and I get it. When you're the 4th overall pick, you are expecting probably like Jamar Chase numbers, you're expecting what Malik Neighbors did or Brian Thomas Jr., those rookies that they kind of came out here where they're the top 3 guys. Not talking about Odunze, but the other 3, right? And then you expect that from Marvin Harrison Jr., but Marvin was in a run heavy offense, and let's call it like it is. A lot of people want to blame, Drew Petzing, which is our offensive coordinator. It was a mix of a whole bunch of things as to why, Marvin Harrison Jr. didn't hit the 1K mark, but he was at 855, 8 touchdowns. So it's not like he had 200 yards or was a disappointment. Like, he's going to take the next step. Like, I think that's one of the most important things here that, obviously Drew Petzing is taking into consideration going into his year 3 is that there's going to be specific plays designated and designed for Marvin Harrison Jr. to get the ball, where at least we should see that evolution of this run heavy offense type of situation where we're going to start seeing Marvin Harrison Jr. take that next step. So I'm not really worried about it. I know the national perspective out there is that he's not as good as, Malik Neighbors or Brian Thomas Jr. I don't even care if they take the a step down. I'm just excited to see what Marvin Harrison Jr. when he does hit that 1K because I believe that he's going to, especially what he did this offseason.
Mike, do you got any questions about whether or not there might be he is legit, he is as good as you just said, but it may come down to chemistry issues between him and Kyler?
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. Yeah, I mean, Drew Petzing has some play as into it as well. But if you take a look back at the tape, and there was a great breakdown here from the great Arizona Cardinal quarterback and Rams too, Kurt Warner, and he broke it down. And there was plays to be made. It's just Kyler needs to get a little bit more comfortable, have a little bit more progressive, or see where he needs to put his eyes at. But it almost kind of felt like he was not the number 1 option for Kyler. Like, Kyler Murray's eyes were always to Trey McBride. And he's a safety blanket, and it makes sense. I'm hoping that this next year, in year 2, he takes the chemistry up a notch, because that is what it was. There was at least 1 or 2 terrible mistakes by each player, whether it was on Marv or whether it was on Kyler Murray. There was an obvious miscommunication between the two. So let's hope, fingers crossed, because there's going to be a lot of questions being asked if this does not get resolved. And I'm talking about that chemistry.
Fellas, I was worried we were going to get through our first show of the season without a super chat, in which I have no idea what it's asking at all. Usually we get one a show at least. And fear not, Sir Cash came in right at the buzzer and has it for us. You're going to have to help me out here. I'm new to watching this show. Just so I can get a vibe of every host, what's your favorite Uma Muzzini racer? I'm a Gold Ship and Haru fan myself.
I like Kill Bill myself.
Sir Cash Money is one of my favorite super chatters on my channel. He never makes any sense, and it's all by design. I absolutely love it. So shout out to you, Sir Cash Money.
Are these real things?
No, this is not Dave. Yeah, okay. I'm sure this is actually probably real. I don't know what it is, but either way, he always has something funny to say.
Gotta be anime or
shout out to you.
Yeah, no, it's definitely anime. Yeah, it's I've
You're an anime guy,
before.
right, Jake?
Right?
I not like all the way. Like I'm very picky about what anime I watch. I have no idea what this is, truthfully. I can tell it's anime because, well, Uma Musume. Yeah, I mean, that
too
just
good.
sounds.
That's just an anime naming it. I mean, I just
Gold Ship and Haru fan myself. All right. Well, I'm a Goku fan, so there you go.
There you go.
I'm somewhat of a Gold Ship fan myself, Sir Cash. I'm gonna have to look into this.
I'm a Penguin and Ivory Road guy. Me. That's just
okay. There we go. There we go.
Keep them coming, Sir Cash. Let's try to see if every week you can stump us, and I guarantee you're going to at least stump me. Maybe you'll be able to get somebody in here who will answer it. But Jesse seems to be well aware of your ability to send in super chats that have no plausible answer. So hopefully maybe one of these days we'll be able to get an answer. Feed Me More coming in. We didn't get this one. Would I have to be nice to Jesse if I call in?
No.
Feed Me More. I didn't. That wasn't part of the rules. I mean, I didn't listen up on what's the rules, right? As long as Jesse's cool with it.
Wow.
By the way, Jesse,
in fact, it would be a little.
Wow.
It would be a little awkward if you were nice to me the way that you super chat. I just wouldn't feel right.
TD just got bonus points for me.
TD's a Dragon Ball guy.
There you go.
Gotta love Dragon Ball. People are the best. It's a commonality there. But Zombie Central is actually giving us some insight here. It's an anime about horse girls racing each other, Kentucky Derby style. Man, I'll tell you, there are some wild animes out there.
I was gonna watch Hard Knocks when we were done after this, but not anymore. Not anymore.
I might have to check this out. No, I'm
I don't, yeah, maybe I think I gotta save my browser now.
we might get the stream taken down for Jake just reading that aloud right now.
I gotta take
I don't know what's gonna happen.
I don't think it's that type. Jeez, guys. I don't think it's that crazy.
I don't think it matters. I don't think it really matters. The overall, I don't even know how you come up with that.
I don't know, dude. All right, this is the rule of anime, okay? You ever go on Crunchyroll, you can find an anime based on everything. And make of that what you will. It literally is what you're thinking right now. It's everything. So there's always something. That's why I told you I'm picky. Because I just saying that you like anime, you don't know the can of worms that you're opening up with this. So
I am not well aware of the can of worms that can be open. I mean, I would, if you, I don't know. I'm at a loss for words. I would never have thought anything would exist like that. And I got a feeling that might just be the tip of the iceberg based on what you're saying here, Jake. So
yep.
Let's roll on. Hey, by the way, back to this one where Feed Me More was saying, would I have to be nice to Jesse if I call in? Jesse, I'm a little bit disappointed right now. I can't lie to you.
Not a single person.
How many hat switches did we have without anybody recognizing it at all?
I've worn at least 10 hats during this episode. No joke.
That's insane. What?
Did you really?
Every single time that we went big screen, I switched to a new hat.
Oh, geez.
Just to see if anybody would pick up on it.
I didn't pick up on it at all.
And I wore like a pink 49ers hat. Like I wore some crazy stuff just to see. Yeah, oh yeah, go back. It's pretty funny. Just every time we go big screen, I switch to a new hat.
Oh, this is a Mandela effect.
Right?
Like we get out of here.
Yeah, you guys didn't even catch it.
You weren't wearing pink. I would have noticed that.
I don't know. I definitely was.
Yeah.
No chance. No chance.
The legacy one stood out to me because the wording on it was massive. That was what stood out to me. But I only really knew because you sent in a private chat. Honest to God, I would have been with you fellas. I probably wouldn't have noticed either. But
I'm dead as a doorknob over here, I guess, because I never noticed that.
Stunned the chat didn't notice. You guys got to sharpen up those eyes. If you're just listening, I need you watching. You need to be on your toes because we don't know what's coming next. Bronze is coming in. Bronze sausage, that is. Go Hawks. Thanks for doing these roundtables.
Let's go.
Give them some love, Brandon.
Yeah, let's get love here. Let's get nice traditional applause on there. Go Hawks. Come on. Go.
The pleasure is
Megan.
ours.
She said I've worn 12 hats. She's counted. Nice.
Wow. Okay.
Megan, I'm going to go back and fact check it. So you better be right. Do you think it was 12? Was it that many? Do you have that big of a collection?
It was. Oh yeah, I've got at least 20 hats sitting behind me.
All right, Megan.
All 49ers hats?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Except for the hawk hat you're gonna be wearing week 1.
I got tired of losing my hair, so I stopped wearing hats.
That's my problem. That's why I just continue to wear the hat.
I was just shedding like crazy, and I'm like, all right, this is over. And then now I'm good. I don't wear hats anymore. Only golf hats when I'm golfing, and that's it. So
Alex is coming in.
Here's a callback. This is a good callback.
I know it. I heard Z-Bot has given everyone who's at the Roundtable meetup a custom Chipotle fork necklace from his personal collection. Or am I tripping? Alex, look, I hate to tell you, brother, but you're tripping. If you think I'm giving away my collection, you're nuts. You're crazy. I got a stockpile.
Plus, you couldn't get that through the airplane. They call that a weapon.
I was trying to fly 3,000 miles just for this, so I'm bummed.
This was
at least you know ahead of time.
Best fun fact about Z-Bot. Like this was just so out of nowhere that is amazing.
This has lived in. I mean, Alex. I don't know. I think he resonated with it quite significantly because he has never forgotten this. And
I know Alex personally. Yes, he definitely resonated with this.
And I like that he continues to bring it up because sometimes I forget about the stash that I have and I'm reminded to go and take a look and make sure it's still there because I'm holding those for a rainy day, fellas. Those are going to be worth something someday. I'm telling you.
Oh, man.
When Chipotle goes belly up and you can't get them.
When people say
247 people watching. Sorry. 247 people watching, 97 likes. We're 3 away from 100.
Oh, come on.
Damn.
Come on. Guys, if we can't get 3 by the end of these super chats, I'm going to just be devastated. I'm going to be devastated. Yeah, we're going to turn
the canceled.
Yeah, exactly. Do say Falco. Rams look decent in their Cowboys practice. Love the hit stick tackles. Oh, they were going at it today, huh?
Oh yeah, no, that's true. It honestly made me uncomfortable. Like I didn't love it because like Jared Verse is knocking dudes over, like Javonte Williams, and we know he's had some injury stuff in the past with the Broncos. He tries to make a cut, and Jared Verse knocked him on his ass. Like I don't know. Maybe I'm off base, but with those practices, aren't guys supposed to not touch the ground? Like you're not supposed to level them.
It's not like a preseason where you're going to get potentially fined if you overstep something. So it's kind of like a gray area where both people have to agree. That's why you get all those fights at those inner practices. But because you don't get the intensity of preseason games and coaches don't play their starters in the preseason games, this is your only chance to get that high intensity type of action that you need to prepare your team for the season.
That's true. That's fair. Yeah. I don't know. It kind of freaked me out because I don't know. I don't want anybody to get hurt. And I know that sounds kind of, weird, like it's football, but no, the scariest thing about, training camp is that you can have the best team and you still, everybody has the same chance at a Super Bowl because if you don't know who's going to go down, right? It's really like you have to have some luck when going through this process. And that's the scariest thing. I learned this very, very early on in my football loving journey with Sam Bradford. You could feel so good about the offseason. Oh, look, we got Jake Long at left tackle. Well, Jake Long gave up the sack in preseason that tore Sam Bradford's ACL. That's the guy they paid a ton of money to. And he gave it up on a third string outside linebacker. So, it's scary, man. So I'm always hoping like everybody stays healthy because I hate injuries so much. Obviously, I'm not the only one, but
I hear you. The Bills injury list right now looks like a page out of a dictionary. It's unbelievable. There's like 18 names on it. And I just can't help but wonder at this time if it's just precautionary. And I like to tell myself that it is because
it makes you feel better.
Exactly. That's the only way I can feel better about it. Megan coming in. And this is what you get for assuming, by the way. I assumed it was the Sydney Opera House. And you know what they say about assuming. It's not the Sydney Opera House. It's Star Casino. Staying there 4 nights is Megan. Opening night for the Back to the Future, the musical, meeting the writer and the director of the movies too. Man, Megan, you must be a big fan.
That's cool.
Of Back to the Future. That sounds like a blast. Plus, you're at the casino too. Get to lay a little money down, maybe on the Hawks. They got a book over there.
Oh, there we go.
YouTube sniped our chat, man. The chat died, and you can't post anything. I just tried like 3 times. It's just stuck.
Sniped.
When I tell you, when we brought up that anime, what did I say? I said we're going to shut it down.
It got caught girl and horse and anime in the 3 separate sections.
Are you serious? You really can't. You really can't post on it?
No, look at that. That chat has been up there. From the HHG has been there for 5 minutes. Nobody else has been able to post, and I'm trying to post in there. Nothing. Yeah, that came up. Mine won't.
I'm able to post.
Are you?
Yeah.
Hit a
Are you
refresh
sure?
on it.
Is it showing up here though?
But it's not showing
It's not
up.
showing up. That's what I'm saying.
Oh my God! It was actually we actually clipped it. We really did.
Oh well, now I know what not to say on my channel.
Maybe, yeah. I was gonna say, did someone send it in because if you say certain words that it shuts it down? That would actually be genius if someone did that. Get you to read something that you have no idea what the hell it is, and all of a sudden, boom.
So we're not live right now. We're still live, aren't we?
We're still live.
Yeah,
the chat.
I've never seen anything like this.
Wow,
I've never seen that either ever.
Our chat got swatted.
Yep. Yeah. Now that I
wait,
refreshed,
hold on.
Oh, there we go.
Now they're coming.
Hey, we're back, baby.
We're back.
Brandon, give me a little
Sir
noise.
Cash Money
We're
is
back.
like, my bad.
My fault, gang.
You can slow us down, but you can't stop us.
Love it.
Oh man, I love it. I was actually kind of getting concerned. I can't even lie to you. Joseph coming in. How do you guys rank the NFC West compared to the rest of the NFC divisions? Ooh, that's a loaded one. Jesse's got number 2.
It's a tough one.
NFC North is just stacked top to bottom. It's tough to beat that division right now.
Yeah.
See, I'm a little bit of a lighter on the NFC North because I think Chicago's not exactly this completely going to bounce back, no doubt about it, this year thing. Caleb's had some moments out there with Ben Johnson. And the Lions is also, I know that they've got a couple of years, and everybody just takes it for granted that they're going to be good again and not, but I don't know. I mean, are they going to get back their rusher this year at 100%? Is he going to be fully go? And a lot of their pass rush is built on the back of him making it go. I just look at a team and I go, man, I could see them also taking a couple steps back. You have Minnesota there with JJ McCarthy as a starting quarterback. If JJ went out there and put Sam Darnold's year up for Minnesota, the year he put up last year for them this year, that would be an all-time rookie season as far as statistically goes. So he's not likely to get there. They're likely to me to be taking a bit of a step back all the way kind of through that division a little bit. Not to mention we get to feast on the schedule. I think that they got a little bit of the benefit from last year.
True. Yeah, I would go too.
I mean, I don't know. It's tough because I actually kind of feel like that division's a little overrated. And I kind of look at the
Coming
AFC,
from a Lions fan.
Yeah, right. I look at the AFC West as they're almost interesting because you look at the Chargers and what they did, you look at the Raiders, and like I said, I really like Geno's fit there, right? But then of course you have Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, and then the Broncos, who I wouldn't be surprised the Broncos are the best team in that division. So I actually feel like it might be the two West divisions. I truly feel that way, and I don't care what order you pick them. I would say that the AFC North has a lot of, they have potentially three powerhouses. We don't know what Bengals we're going to get, but I just don't. If we're looking at the full scope of the division, okay, I have everyone in this division going 500, well, above 500 because you can't go 500 anymore. But when it comes to say like, the AFC North, I don't think the Browns are good. I don't like what the Browns did at all. I don't like their plan at quarterback. I'm not high on the Browns. So they might have three teams that maybe all together, they have three teams in the playoffs and, the NFC West doesn't get that. But when you have a team that I think is going to be that bad at the bottom of the division, I think it hurts you. So yeah, I look at the AFC West and I look at the NFC West, and I'm sure there's probably a division I'm forgetting, but those are the two, when I really think about it, those are the two that really stand out to me.
So you have the NFC West as the best division in the NFC then?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. I'm the same. I think
they said NFC divisions. Okay. Yeah.
But you got there though. I mean, I wasn't I didn't know where you were going with that, but I wasn't expecting that. I mean,
I thought it was the NFL. My bad. I totally read past the NFC. I don't know why. I just thought it said NFL.
No, I thought it was great because you wound up getting to the point where you said the NFC West was one. I didn't think you were going there. And then Brandon's kind of agreeing. I didn't think you guys were as high up on it, I guess, as maybe I thought, which that's intriguing. So you have him number one. Brandon, you have him number one.
Yeah. I think there's always an inherent East Coast bias to this. And the backing of that is that this has been one of the toughest divisions in football for almost about 8 or 9 years. I mean, how many times have we represented the Super Bowl in just the last 12, 13 years alone? It's also just, I look at the worst of the teams in these divisions we look at. I think we've got the best of the worst, bare minimum. And I think, as Jake said, everybody's capable of going up over 500 in this division, especially given that schedule. And I'll say, I think sometimes those schedules that you get, if they're both doubly easy in the AFC and the NFC, that out of division schedule, that's the common schedule everybody's got to go through within the division, that can kind of skew the way people look at a given division and how well they performed in a given year versus once they actually have to go and get rooted up against a little bit of a couple of stronger divisions on the other side of that year afterwards. Makes it harder to kind of year to year and really comp this out exactly.
Brandon, I'm seeing a lot of love in the chat for Eamon Wari. I'm seeing Feed Me More coming in. I'm also seeing Jack Maloney coming in as well. This is the third chat now singing the praises of Eamon Wari.
Yeah, Witherspoon as well was fantastic out there. He had an interception on a little fade ball down in the end zone that was perfectly played. Also had almost another one. But this secondary is coming together just like we thought in the most scariest of ways. And what's really awesome about this with Wari is you don't have to go out there and put him as a starter. He's just going to be used all over the place. He is in everybody's meetings, linebacker meetings, cornerback meetings, safety meetings. They got it in it all. You are going to see these guys lined up every which direction but loose on this football field. It's going to be pure positionless football. It's going to be a beautiful thing.
We got Joseph coming in. Why does me and Jesse hate the Niners? Mac is better than Brock Purdy.
Yeah, I wouldn't go.
Hey, Jesse, our Trey Lance take's coming back around, by the way.
Man, is it ever?
It's coming back, baby. We finally almost there.
if you stick on long enough, man, maybe you just might be right. You never know.
He was playing like they might as well have taken his bust right while he was in town at Canton the other day. I mean, he was phenomenal.
Tried
Matt
to tell you
Jones,
guys. Best quarterback in that draft.
Jake was right. We had our Jimmy G mention. We had our Trey Lance mention. Now Mac Jones. We are truly back, fellas. Loving it.
Yeah, we are.
Alex. Now we're really back. Obligatory Lyle mention here. And also shout out to Jake Moody. We are really back.
Winning that job.
We needed the Lyle mention.
He didn't win any job. They gave him the job. It's so stupid. Gosh, man. He's going to lose at least 2 games for him. I can feel it.
The snail. Initial D will always be number 1.
Hmm.
All right, we got 2 now. 2. Now we're really cooking.
Well, that's my guy. So he's maybe talking about the Seahawks defense.
We're cooking with bacon grease.
Could be the best secondary in the NFL with those LA Rams that he's talking about, the snail. Could be. Megan saw the hat changes, by the way. She was being modest. She didn't want to say anything, but she wants us to know. I mean, she went back and counted too, by the way. And we're looking at a dozen hat changes that went unnoticed by everybody but Megan. So we're impressed. Megan's saying 138 hats in rotation for me.
Moly.
Always compete, Megan. Always compete.
Wow. And the thing is, if she said 150, wouldn't have believed it. 138, that's
so
believable.
much more believable. Yeah.
100.
It's so specific.
That's way too specific.
Wow. Megan, on fire tonight. Appreciate it. Alex coming in once again. Can't wait to rock the new NFL sideline hats. I got to air my grievance here. Did you guys see what they're charging now for a hat?
Oh, what is it, like $50?
$55 now is the entry price.
I'm so
for
glad
a
I stopped
baseball
wearing
hat.
hats.
I mean,
Just
what are we
insane.
doing?
I don't know. Just give me my tailor-made hat. Like I'm over this shit. I'm not spending $55 for it to just say Rams. Like I'll just go on eBay and get one of the old Rams, like the old school Rams hats. Like the one that they came out with was absolute dog water, by the way. And I don't care who likes it. Okay. That R from St. Louis, that was dope. I loved the R from St. Louis. Okay. You had it just looked cool. It made sense. They tried to do it with like it doesn't, you see like over here, like the broken horn here. I've gotten used to this. I like this. Don't put it on an R. Okay. It looks awful and I can't explain it. Words don't do it justice. I don't know if you guys saw it. It's horrific.
I saw it because everyone was trying to tell everybody else that it was the Rivalries uniform logo. And I got really invested into it. And of course I'm like, no, this isn't it. I
was like, all right. So they messed that up. Sick. Like,
they're going a little bit. They're going a little too much college direction with this. We're just going a little bit too over the top. You know,
Rivalries.
Come on.
Don't rain on my parade, Brandon. I'm excited as hell. I cannot wait for it. I can't
They're
wait.
going to be ugly. Most of these jerseys are going to be ugly. I can already.
I'm with you. It's like
bad.
it's all good in theory to when you have to watch it on the field and you get tiger stripes with polka dots or some crap.
Yeah, but you're casting stones from a glass house because the Seahawks have like 10 uniforms. The Bills don't do anything. They do.
We only want the
You want the
throwbacks.
red
We all want
We
all we
just
want are
got 'em.
throwbacks, and the nation wants the Seahawks
the
throwbacks.
Rams haven't done anything. And they told us that they were going to. And now it's like literally they were supposed to, they came out with a plan. They were going to drop a new uniform in 2023 and 2024. And then they're like, yeah, we'll just never follow through on that. Like we're still waiting. Like, all right, sick. I don't know.
Their roommate, the Chargers, they literally have, I think, 18 uniforms.
Yeah.
Their roommate that doesn't pay rent. Yeah.
Yeah. He said, no kidding. But yeah, no, the hats are $55 now. I only buy one a year, and that's the division winning hat because it's the only one that I'm able to get. And there's no AFC championship hat coming my way or Super Bowl hat until it does. The problem is now, fellas, I'll wear the hat on social media and I'm good for at least one comment a month. I know his hat doesn't say champion on it. And then someone will say, wow, is he really gloating about an AFC East title? I'm like, man, you can't let me have a damn thing. I can't have anything. But $55, I might be done buying these too. We'll see. But nice. I am buying that Rivalries uniform. Brandon, I don't care what you say. I'm giving the NFL $150 or whatever the hell they are now.
There's a reason they're doing it. It ain't because
you ain't selling. You ain't kidding. Ruiz, and we'll end on this. Everyone, a Mary Kill F Roundtable edition.
Wow.
Leave your answer in the comments as we exit out the building of our first episode of the 2025 season. Yeah. Yeah, you're going to have to add an additional category or two, rather. We got 5 of us on here, so I'll leave that up to your imagination. But
by the way,
for right
Z-Bot, we
now-
got a bet me and Jesse do for the loser has to wear the other's hat after that week here on the Roundtable show. And by the way, I'm going into my shop and I'm going to get the most ostentatious damn hat for you, Jesse. It's going to be #1 fan, 12 for life with the logo.
Now this is after your guys' showdown.
After our beatdown.
Now you're going to ship them
You
the hat?
you gotta go with face tattoos. That's what you gotta go with.
The thing that makes it worse is that the loser has to buy their own hat, but the winner picks the hat they buy. So if I lose, I got to spend my hard-earned money on a Seahawks hat.
Yeah, that's
For my
right.
shop.
Makes it
I'll
worse.
just build it nice and right for my shop.
It's
I'll
good
keep the
Kindle.
prices low. Don't worry, Jesse. Take care.
You know,
Well, now they're
throw
$55.
fire.
No, I'll do my shop and just I'll just do it on my shop and he can buy it from there.
Oh, there you go.
I see.
Nice.
Getting a little kickback on it too.
Yeah.
man.
See, we're in the modern era here. This is a new age.
Warren Buffett in the top right up
Look at
here.
that
Always
frown. He
thinking.
knows it's coming. He knows it's coming.
I've
No
done-
Ayuk. Juwan Jennings
about
holding out.
I've done like 4 or 5 of these hat bets with other creators, and I'm yet to lose one. So I don't plan on starting week
I just
one.
mean-
Are you doing it for both games or just week one?
We'll see. We'll see how week 1 goes. I don't know.
He's
if I
gonna
can
want to do it
stomach
afterwards
2
because
if
he's
I
gonna have to
really-
pay in a week one. And be like, I got to get mine back and even it up. That's okay. I got
We'll
17
see. We'll
weeks
see
of
how it goes.
celebration at that point. So
I like this. I like this. Write this down. One more thing I want to keep track of. Hat
Oh, we're not
swapping.
forgetting this one. We're not forgetting this one. That's for
No.
sure.
Because we're only about a month away from it, fellas. Week 1 right around the corner. We have preseason kicking off this weekend. I'm about to go watch my Buffalo Bills on Hard Knocks. I suggest you do too. It's been too long since we've seen a good organization get the HBO cameras zoomed in on them. It's been nothing but bottom feeders for years. We finally maybe get some entertainment with James Cook holding in. So maybe we'll get a little bit more info on that. But maybe Jake's Rams just did us a favor, or maybe the opposite. We'll see what ends up happening. But in the meantime, that's going to do it for our first episode back of the 2025 season on the NFC West Roundtable. Nearly an hour and a half in the books. Over 300 of you rocking with us on the first episode in the offseason. You guys are the absolute best. We appreciate all the super chats, and we appreciate all of you tuning in as you always do. And we cannot wait to run it back with you again here in 2025. On your way out the door, like button if you could, subscribe button if you could. And then once again, in the description below, 15% off a premium subscription over at RotoWire. Use the promo code RTS and join us on Patreon. Click that link, join, and you can call into the show throughout the season. Can't wait to see what that looks like. And as Jesse mentioned earlier, still tickets available. Thursday Night Football at SoFi Stadium in LA. Niners, Rams live event. NFC West Roundtable, taking the show on the road, and we'd love to see you in person. Get in on that while tickets are still available. All right, fellas, great to be back with you. And Chad, great to be back with you as well. Hour and a half in the books. First episode of the year in the books. For Mike, Brandon, Jake, and Jesse, I'm your host, Z-Bot. Thanks so much, as always, for tuning into the NFC West Roundtable, and we'll see you on the next one.
Go Cards.
Go Hawks.